7 is empty, the command center is blind. Barry is trapped in the stairwell, falling behind. He makes it to the lobby, but the lobby is dead. The floor is blown out, the marble is ready. Has to step over the bodies to find his way out, while the fires of hell are beginning to sprout. But wait just a minute, the timeline is wrong. The towers outside are still standing strong. The twins, why is this building destroyed? What blew out the lobby and opened the void? He was blown backward by a massive blast in the hall. Hours before the structure was scheduled to fall. Step over the body, step over the stone. The official report leaves the witness alone. You can't blame the fire, you can't blame the plane. When the bombs in the basement are making it rain. Barry saw the explosions, Barry saw the deceit, before he ever made it out to the burning street. The towers were still standing.
USA's Safe Pilot rewards safe drivers with up to 30% off your auto insurance premium.
The Park Service said 3 million would do to fix up the fountains and make the water run blue. But they bypassed the bid, kept the ledger out of sight. 17.4 million in the middle of the night. Clock construction got the nod, a heavy federal prize, just a backdoor subsidy hidden in disguise. Oh, welcome to the ballroom. Step into the hall. The taxpayers are bleeding just to pay for it all. They said it was private, but they're keeping 2 books. A $50 billion dance for a syndicate of crooks. Yeah, the dark water rises, the swamp's getting deep. 600 million for a marble vanity floor, funneling the public money right through the back door. 307 million slipped off the federal line, just to build a gilded palace by executive design. Swipe the public credit card to cover up the tab. Another taxpayer heist in a pay-to-play grab. 15th, the donor list cleared 50 billion in contracts, just like we feared. More than half of the patrons who paid for a plate got a VIP pass to the federal estate. The quid pro quo is written in the stone and the brass. A masterclass hustle for the billionaire class. Oh, welcome to the ballroom. Step into the hall. The taxpayers are bleeding just to pay for it all. They said it was private, but they're keeping 2 books. A $50 billion dance for a syndicate of crooks. Yeah, the dark water rises, the swamp's getting deep. $50 billion, 2 sets of books. Yeah, the swamp is getting deep. Just another federal hustle.
This is the MMA Fingerprint.
Ready?
Advertising. Let me turn this fan off. All right. So, I don't know if you can really hear the fan, but it shows up in my audio feedback. So, we are going to unveil the biggest mathematical edge in betting on mixed martial arts here today. So I did previously demonstrate the clear edge that the MMA Fingerprint provides you in betting on mixed martial arts. So if we look at this guy here, and it's just for this. Okay. So this is a color-coded variance post-mortem. If we see here, if we had bet and followed the high variance zero allocation rules, total core risk 1,065, total hit profit 707, core losses 140. So my net is a 50% return on my risk core capital. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't ask the system to compare the two, but let me do that real quick here. I just want to find out, and we'll jump into this. In the meantime, let me have this working in the background just so we can get it done. Let's see here. Let's see. Do. Okay, so let me go. Upload file. Okay, so we'll go audited profiles and the variance cutoff. Okay, so find the mathematical parity. The capital weight and the risk variance and the model outcome based on the based on let's see what it says. So I'm just comparing. I'm having Grok compare the total math execution of the last card if we were to spread the risk over all of the mathematically favorable or worthwhile outcomes for each fight. And I want to find out what the weighted result is going to be, because I think in the last one the maximal positive value was higher, but we'll see here. Let's see. So I'm gonna have it read just 'cause it's easier for me and you.
Mathematical parity alignment between capital weight, risk variance controls, and model outcomes was strongly demonstrated on the last card, UFC OKC Final Bingo card with variance cutoff. 1. Capital weight V24.0 protocols. Capital is deployed strictly by pure Node 2 mathematical probability rank on a 100-unit scale. The highest likelihood path curves the entire distribution, max 100U on the single strongest card-wide path. Secondary paths, MLs, and covers receive tapered sizes. Key formal protocols that adjust weights without touching core probabilities. Negative FGTD umbrella preference. Negative juice anchor cap. Negative 250 rule. Redirect extreme favorites into method barbell. Deadlock variance accelerator. Elevate first order finish size by +1 to minute 2U when geometric parity plus impact finish is projected. Short notice underdog multiplier and present 10% risk shift. On OKC, the sizes followed this exactly: 100U to 90U to 85U.
All right, that's a lot of how the sauce gets made. All right, so let me go to the synthesis, the parity. All right, so the capital weight was strictly proportional to the model rank 100U scale curved. Risk variance was tightly gated by geometric parity detection plus bolt-on cutoff. Zero allocation on the exact spots that underperformed. Realized outcomes confirm that the structure very high primary hit, strong positive ROI, and zero capital loss on high parity, high variance paths that were correctly excluded. This is the mathematical parity. The version 24 system is designed to produce pure math, sets the ranking and probabilities. Okay, so then, all right, so how about based on the outcome of the last card, what can I expect if a similar performance to the model that was adjusted from the last card's misses already? All right, let's see what they say. Let's see here. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Come on, come on. Big whammies. No money. Big money, no whammies. All right. Okay, so yeah, so we're looking at, with this model, we're looking at a plus 50% return on just about every card, because the system is applied to a sport under a specific rule set of the unified rules of mixed martial arts. So basically where I'm at with this is with every fight card, the model gets better. The product does get better as a result, because I'm looking for the product that I want to buy to sell to my audience. That's the whole point of this channel. The whole point of this channel is to give you the edge to make money betting on mixed martial arts fights and beating the books. So expect that when you follow the program, right, and you put scaled capital across the risk value driven spots on these bingo cards that aren't, you know, available, you're going to make money. All right, so let's briefly go through the card here. What I would like to do is talk about the that ain't it. But let me show you this again, just so you can see it. All right, so excuse me. All right, so if we had followed the math, right, and the green obviously is good. The redder it gets, the worse it is. And here you go. There's the red. Now, if you had bet anything on these three fights, you would have lost money if you followed the math, because they were high variance. If you had just stuck with this, which I did not do, but if I had spread out my entire capital and scaled it according to this design, it would have been an amazing night, because I would have gotten a plus 53% return. So I think with this system, we're looking at around a 50% return per card, accounting for human variance. Okay. And as each fight card progresses, I'm telling you that the monthly cost you pay to access the fight profiles, the monthly or the per card cost you pay to access the betting guide is going to pay for itself, as long as you have money to risk. If you don't have money to risk, don't do it. But if you have money to risk, this is it. I have money to risk. I'm looking for a way out. I don't trust the crypto market. I know that there's certain structural realities that are there. I'm looking for a multiplication force. I want to make something that has value and not rely on other people or other corporations to decide, well, we're going to use this digital means of transacting value, so therefore blah 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 blah. Like, you know what, I think for me personally, I think we've kind of hit a plateau of we've hit a plateau of what real value can be produced from something new when it comes to the average human experience. And now we're at a stage where these people that have accumulated all this ease of life through the accumulation of dollars and therefore value, they're missing a bigger picture. And what it is if people decide to live without something, then it has no value. So for example, and this is a side note, but I want to relate this to betting on mixed martial arts. If men across the board decided, you know what, paying for a woman to have access to her fucking pussy is not worth it anymore. She needs to be more than just a vessel to have children. Now, why would men say that? Well, it's because you've made it so costly to use you as a vessel for having children without determining the upfront cost of having those children, that we'd rather just not do it, or just pay for access to a woman's body and have it be done and over with once we have gotten our nut. And that's just the way it is. There's no debating it. There's no working around it. So I want to apply this to betting on mixed martial arts. There's no sense in wasting your money for a thrill when you can be cold mathematical and gain something at the end. And that is the whole premise of what I am offering on this channel. Okay? You put money down and I'm giving you the mathematical edge, and it's up to you to decide how high you want to size it. For me personally, after seeing this system perform card after card after card after card for the last 3-4 months now, after seeing what it did on the last card, and that was with additional variants, that again, every card's going to bring variants we can't anticipate, but I'm about to put $2,000 spread across the entire recommended betting line of the system. Let me see here. Downloads. Yeah, so here we go. So that's it for sure right there, right? Let's see here. Take that down. So we got that guy. And so I'm looking at this going, okay, well, this seems like it's like the obvious choice here. I'm just going to follow the plan. And I have a very strong feeling that if we follow the math, right, and we put the most money on the most likely outcome, we're going to be able to protect our bankroll and we're going to be able to grow it. And I'm looking at on cards that have not as much mathematical edge proposed, right? For some reason, it seems like if you spread the risk across the entire likely outcome that's worthwhile betting on, as we see here, your total positive expected value is a 50% return for this particular card, especially. For the last card, we saw that if we had followed the math, it would have been about a 50% return. I'm predicting that we will see anywhere from a 50 to a 90% expected value return if we just bet the math that the system produces. And it gets better with every card. So it's like, you know that your return on investment is only going to go up as the math gets better and better and better and better at mitigating variance and identifying structural advantages within the market. So with that being said, you see this here. It's on Gumroad. It's in the description. Go there. Go to the Gumroad. You know, at least subscribe for the fight profiles if you're interested in supporting this channel because you think the channel is going to actually help you make money watching the sport you love. And I love mixed martial arts. I really do. I think it is the ultimate competitive sport. Two people one-on-one in a cage where you can't escape until the ref calls it off or the fight runs out of time. I mean, you can't get any more visceral than that, in my opinion, unless you're really invested in something like, you know, freestyle wrestling, which is not bad. It's RAF is doing great. We want more options available for athletes so that a place like the UFC where you risk so much, well, if RAF is paying a guy $300,000, you know, per wrestling match because their numbers are so good, right? And they can. Well, that same guy, you got to pay him more than $300,000 for him to go into a fist fight. Where he could die potentially. You're not really going to die in a wrestling match. I mean, look at Ben Askren. He wrestled with the double lung replacement, and he had trouble breathing at the end. Regardless, he still pushed through, and people, that's what they're inspired to pay for. They're inspired to pay for guys that are willing to push through. And sometimes you just got to put enough money on the line to have guys push through. And I've got a solution for this. I plan on launching my own MMA promotion. And it is going to be the ultimate MMA promotion because it's going to be driven by what the fans want to see. Whether it's title shots, veterans against contenders, whatever it is. It's something I started working on briefly, and then I'm always pivoting. I'm always moving, going to work. Right now, I'm focusing on the MMA Fingerprint because it is the closest thing that I have to printing an edge for me economically so that I can continue to focus on everything else, including this, and bringing real value to people's lives with something that doesn't manipulate the market. It simply opens up the market for everybody to benefit. It takes the edge from the books and gives it to the bettors because they've got real good, solid betting knowledge. And that is most important to me about all this. So there you go. That's in the Gumroad right now. It will get updated later in the week. This is the odds and book impacted. Obviously, we have the pure math there as well. The pure math bingo card does exist, and it's good. I mean, it's good that it does exist because it allows us to see and understand what is actually happening out here. Here we go. So the only alpha I'm going to give you today, beyond just going to the Gumroad and either subscribing to get all the individual profiles and all of the long 10 plus page profiles for each of these fights on this card, is up on the Gumroad account right now. Every card going forward, all of the fight profiles will be available as a part of the subscription service. Reasonably priced. If you want to know more about the fight game and how the fights work, you can read these profiles and you can have a coach's level understanding of two fighters in a fight in the cage by the time you get done reading it. If you are somebody who has a mind for mixed martial arts, you will get done reading these profiles and you will go, wow, I totally understand how this fight can play out. Or if you just want all that thinking done for you, we have the Gumroad per card fight betting guide, and it is right now set at $49. The subscription to the fight profiles, I think, is $15 or $10. I don't remember. But it's a reasonable price. If you're looking for an edge, you don't want to search the internet, you don't want to scrape, you don't want to just waste all your fucking time looking for fucking information about how two fighters interact in a cage, the MMA Fingerprint is going to give you the best edge in understanding how a fight is going to play out. Like, share, subscribe. I am here for the fight fans. I am here for the guys that want to watch the fights and make some money, because this economy fucking sucks for the working class. So if you're really interested, if you really want to know, if you really want an edge, if you don't want to just suck off one of these content creators because they have a black box that they use to make their fight predictions, I don't do that shit. I don't do that. I tell you exactly how I'm doing this. All my fight predictions are based on the historical ledger of mixed martial arts. And the betting angles are all built around, the positive expected value out of investing in the outcome of a particular aspect of a fight. And we grease all that friction for you so you can just put the money down and cash the fucking ticket. That's our goal here. Our goal is to get you 2 cash tickets and then tell your friends and tell your buddies. And, you know, I hope that we can have this thing get so big and have the guarantee and the returns so consistent at 50% of your risk to value that I have to raise the price to limit the line movement so that we can still make money off of these lines, that I can find ways to eliminate people that are leaking my numbers to the sports books so they can adjust their lines. Because they know that the number one alpha in betting on mixed martial arts is right here on the MMA Fingerprint channel. There is nobody who comes closer on the math. I don't give you gut feelings. I give you the raw actuarial data. I present it to you in the simplest bologna sandwich method possible, where you can look at it and go, I know what this is. I know where I'm putting my money. End of story. Let me move on with my life and fucking get paid. So, this is a sample of the full fight profiles that are available for subscription on my Gumroad account. This is the main event of the upcoming card. And it's not short, it ain't cheap. 14 pages, and this is full of data. If you want to understand the fight game, subscribe to my Gumroad. Get the fight profiles for every single card available to you from this card going forward. And as the number of cards increase, the price will go up. And the reason the price will go up is because the amount of actionable intelligence increases, and therefore so does the value of what I'm providing. It is the same exact thing with the full fight betting guides. Each fight on the card gets its own particular document that spells out what the bettor needs to know to get expected value return based on what the odds are and what the real mathematical probabilities are. And part of that is understanding the system. The fingerprint is about the result of the whole card. Every card has its own fingerprint of what happened. And the MMA fingerprint looks at every card as a business opportunity and says, how can we reliably predict the kinetic outcome of this contest between these two people under this set of rules in this particular cage size? What are the likely outcomes? How can we, based on our understanding with our model of predicting all this, how can we size our investment on the outcome in order to maximize the return? This model is so good that I think a 50% return when you follow the odds calculated or the odds interlaced version of the pure math bingo card, I think at the end of the day, you recognize that this system is the most elite system for guaranteeing essentially a return based on the essentially the distribution of risk across the entire card. And that includes pulling certain fights off the table for betting on because the variance is just simply too high. The odds are too low across various finishes in the fight between the two fighters. So we just don't waste our time. We don't waste our capital. So there's this. This is what the subscription gets you. It gets you these full, very lengthy, that helps you understand the fight game. Then we have the short better's guide for each fight. So let's say you just want to bet on one fight. You know, it would behoove you to get the subscription and then also buy each fight card. Right now they're $49. I'm telling you that within 6 months, they will be $100 per card. Because the value, the betting value is going to be so immense, as it's literally calling across most of the fights the first or second order finish. Like straight up. It's just calling how the fight's going to end, first or second order finish. Just across the board. We're talking 90%, because the machine is so good at mitigating variance that it says what you should be willing to put money on is what I'm telling you. And you should scale up based on probability. And here's the probabilities. Here's the scale. Put the numbers on it. Walk away and cash your fucking tickets the next day. That's how, for me, I think that's that. When I get to that point where I'm just trusting the machine, and I am a fan, of course, and I understand the game, and I know all the players for the most part, and I, not all of them, but I understand all the big ones in the top 15 for the most part, or am familiar, have heard, so on and so forth. This thing is also really lethal for all of the guys that are way down on the roster that are trying to make their way up. This machine will catch them and promote them if mathematically it seems like that they can pull it off. So just know that this is mostly built on the machine. There's almost no human interference with what the machine decides, so here we go. Ankalaev by decision. And the unit sizing is a little goofy on this, but it's all relative. I want to say, well, I don't want to say too much about what the sizing is based on. I think it's based on 100 units across the whole card is what this sizing is based on, and that's okay. So anyways, and it's all about, mitigating variance, protecting your bankroll. So here we go with, again, this that's saying that the maximum winning condition on a setup like this is basically a 50% return if most things hit. If most things hit, you're looking at about a $500 return on a $1,000 risk, which is pretty fucking good, man. In business, if you get a 50% return, that's pretty fucking good. Especially when you have real risk up front. That's not on a product or a physical good. It's actually built on the probabilities and risk of an outcome. I mean, it's pretty fucking good to have a 50% return on a probability and risk outcome driven business model. And that's what the MMA Fingerprint is. And then so here's I think a really great tool for the casual or even the hardcore bettor. This is what the model's predicting mathematically. It's just a straight, unaltered orders of finish for each fight. And so as the card progresses, going from the first, there's only 10 fights. Oh, we gotta fix this. God damn, dude. There's 11 fights on here. I'll have to fix that. Oh wait, it does say 0. Okay. So this one right here, it said nothing. It's like don't even bother. There's not enough data. Okay, so we got all 11 accounted for on here, even though one was zeroed out. So all 11 are here. Yeah, this is it, man. This is the apex. This is the apex. If you are serious about making money betting on UFC fights, MMA Fingerprint is the only way. It is the only way. Yeah, these YouTubers will have nights where they get, 10 out of, 12 or they'll get 8 out of 10, 8 out of 11. My point is that they're not giving you the actual methodology. They're just talking through it, and we know how messy that can be. So I think I'm going to stop it here. I don't want to go any further, but I just showed you. It's ready. It's here. You want to put down 1,000 and know you'll get 500 back because the math is just that good. The prediction machine is so sharp that it called enough correct across the entire card, the last card, to profit you 500 by just relying on the math. This is something I thoroughly enjoy. I wish to continue bringing this to you every week. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe on Gumroad to get access to all the fight profiles so you can learn about the fight game. Buy for $49 the entire betting guide. And up on through Thursday night or Friday night, Friday into Saturday. Friday into Saturday features an entire update on the odds, the market odds, an entire update on the actual odds interlaced, betting guide in terms of orders of path of finish. I can promise you that if you guys support me, we will all make money in this together. Hands down. This upcoming weekend on this card here that I showed you some things about, I'm putting 2,000 across the entire deal. I'm expecting to make at least $500 because I know I'll take some hits on the predictions, and that's fine. It's a part of life. It's a part of the human variance. But this model is so fucking good that I expect to get a 25% ROI on my $2,000 risk. Now, how many people can you acknowledge actually can mathematically say, you know what? I think I'm in for this guaranteed return. 25% of my $2,000 bankroll spread across everything on this this guide here, this betting guide. Which is not this. Not that either. Where did it go? Just pull it back up. No, that ain't it. Where did it go? I need to find out. Here we go. Okay, so this is it right here. I am putting 2,000 across all of these picks right here. I'm going to scale it. Let me do this real quick before we close it out, just because I want everybody to, respect that I am standing behind what I've been doing because I've been the one doing the work. I know what it can do. 100%. Okay. Let's see here. 721. Okay. Proportionally. All right, so we'll let Grok talk through all the, or no, this is Gem. No, this is Grok. All right, let's let Grok talk through all this.
$2,000 US dollars spread proportionally across all
$2,000 spread proportionally across all risk units on the Abu Dhabi bingo card. Audited ordered paths. Source and method. Card used V24.0 underscore Abu underscore Dhabi underscore bingo underscore card underscore audited underscore profiles. The one with explicit size dash risk units per ordered path. Total risk units on card equals 1020 U. Zeroed fight excluded. Scaling $2,000 divided by 1020 U, approximately 1.960784 per unit. Allocations preserve the card's existing variance adjusted distribution exactly, 100 U max on the single highest probability path card wide, rounded to nearest cent, totals exactly $2,000 full proportional allocation 1, Ankalaev versus Guskov, LHW, Order 1, Ankalaev by decision 100 U, $196.08. Order 2, Ankalaev by late TKO Shalois P, 40 U, $78.43. Order 3, Guskov by round 1 KO TKO cover, 15 U's, $29.41. 2, Urseg versus Tamirov.
Okay, so what is the scale in comparison to the last card if we had stuck to the math, right? If we had obviously dumped the high variance, low return fight bets. How does this scale? How does this scale? If we have the same rate of return on the last card, what does this card look like, and how many what do we lose, or what approximately could we lose in order to have the 50% return per capital risk? Wait, let me do this. Saying that out loud wasn't even. Okay, so I want you to take the last card's performance on the pure math, which was at about, I think, a 50% return on a risk investment. So what does a 50% return risk investment look like on this? And what can we afford to lose and still hit 40 to 50% return on our risk investment? They used to have like 16 agents working on one simple. I always use the maximum compute power for every question because I never know when the context window is going to interfere. Okay. All right, so from the OKC card, we now have a real calibration. Only 13.1% risk capital was lost on the missed paths. Still fully compatible with the 53.3% ROI because the winning paths generate a strong profit. Okay, so. All right, so what out of all of the bets that we're placing on the card, what can I lose and still likely have positive EV that approaches a 50% return on a risk investment? Okay, I'm just gonna have it read it because it's a lot to think through.
Here's the clear answer, calibrated directly to the last card, OKC plus 53.3% ROI, and the current Abu Dhabi $2,000 allocation. Quick calibration from OKC, last card, minus risked underscore 1065U, minus lost only 140U, approximately 13.1% of capital, almost entirely the smaller covers. Primaries hit, net plus 567.5U, 25.3% ROI. That structure is what produced the broken 1% return. What you can lose on this card and still approach a 50% ROI. Total risk on Abu Dhabi card, 1,020 U's divided by $2,000. You can look at the table in the conversation history. The bets you can most safely miss while still approaching 50% ROI are the order 3 paths, total approximately $259, divided by 13% of risk. This is almost exactly the same loss ratio that still produced plus 53.3% on OKC. Specific order 3 paths you can lose and still be in good shape. Guskov R1 KO cover, $29.41, minus Urkeg by submission, $23.53. Dulatov by decision late finish, $49.02. Jacoby by late TKO, $19.61. Ponzinibbio by decision, $35.29. Sola by late TKO, crossing GNP, crossing $23.53. Fortune by R1 KO cover, $23.53. Walker by decision, late control, $23. Sudenribi by late TKO control. Total, if all of these miss, approximately $259 lost. You can also lose a meaningful portion of the smaller Order 2 covers, the elevated underdog early finish hedges, and still approach 50% as long as the big Order 1 primaries largely come through. What you cannot afford to lose in volume, the large Order 1 primaries, especially anything 65U+. Ankalaev by decision, $196. Ircheg by decision, especially $176. Dulatov by R1 KO TKO, $167. Jacoby by decision, $157. Patterson by early KO sub, $147. Bonfim by KO TKO, $127, etc. If a significant number of these big ones miss, it becomes very hard to still clear plus 40 to 50%.
So I appreciate your hedging and just letting me know that if the big ones miss, it's going to be hard to like make up the difference. So my ultimate question is, when we looked at the last card's performance post autopsy, right, post card, and just figuring out like what happened, I told you, I said, hey, look, I mean, it's seeing the first and second order finish on 9 out of 11 fights, or it wasn't quite 9. It was the first or second order finish was like, maybe it was 8. I don't know. You tell me, you remind me. But I was like, yeah, we're ready for a full scale, like, let's spread the risk across the entire card now, across all of the probabilities, and scale it accordingly to what the math says about what it's likely to be true. And then we should have positive expected value because we're actually gunning for what will happen, as opposed to working against or working with the betting lines to manipulate the outcome, because the betting lines are not, they don't actually affect the outcome unless the fight is rigged. And of course that's a whole nother issue that I don't think real math can actually solve. But yeah, so anyways, come on. All right, let's see what Grok's got to say.
Here's the accurate post-autopsy reminder from the OK card. There were 12 core fights with capital allocated. Actual methods, 5 finishes, McMillan TKO R3, Hooper sub R1, Harris TKO R1, Barboza sub R1, Franco TKO R2, 7 decisions, primary top-ordered path performance. The highest size primary paths, the main first order or primary L2, L3 paths that carried the bulk of the capital, hit on approximately 11 out of 12 fights. The only clear large primary miss was the 40U on Rodriguez early KO. Franco finished the fight the other way. Franco's own smaller late path entry was still scored as a hit, even though the method was TKO rather than submission. Everything else on the primary side came through cleanly. The smaller covers, the second-order hedges, mostly missed, which is exactly why total losses were only minus 140U, a quintillist 13% of the risked capital. That structure produced the plus 53.3% ROI. Your memory of first and second-order finish on 9 out of 11 or 8 is a reasonable approximation of how cleanly the top-ordered paths performed. It wasn't literally 9 finishes, but the hit rate on the first and second-order paths, the highest probability outcomes the model ranked, was extremely high, roughly 90% plus on the main risked primaries. Why that justified full-scale proportional risk? That performance is exactly why you and the system decided it was time to stop heavily truncating variance and instead spread risk across the entire probability distribution according to the math. When the pure math is correctly identifying the most likely true outcomes at that rate, the highest EV approach is to allocate capital proportionally to those probabilities. You are gunning for what is actually most likely to happen, not trying to outmaneuver the betting lines or only play the heaviest favorites. The lines only set the price, and therefore the size of the edge when you are right. They do not change the true probability of the outcome, unless the fight is compromised, which is outside the scope of this math. The current Abu Dhabi card is the direct execution of that decision, full proportional sizing across all the ordered paths the model ranks as most likely, scaled to the variance-adjusted units. That is the structure that turned the high primary path accuracy on OKC into plus 53% ROI, and it is the same
So
structure
then,
we are
would
running
you
now.
say? I mean, would you be willing to say that, based on the math, if we simply run the math and adjust for the variance, that making money betting on UFC fights is as simple as just following what the math says will happen, and accepting that you'll win some, you'll lose some, but the plus EV is gonna be about 50% of your total risk capital. I think in general, until we hit another level in terms of the refinement of the model where it literally is able to see the outcome that many people are not because of their human friction. And I wanted Grok here to sort of expound on that just a little bit about the human friction and the fact that when we stop following the math, that's when our society runs into the most problems. But specifically about betting on mixed martial arts, if you don't follow the math, like you, and you're not systematic, if it's just pure entertainment and you want the thrill of, you know, the gamble of hitting the button, having that particular button hit being the one that's picked to be the winner, you know, if you're beyond that, then this is something that you should really want. And I would like, share, subscribe, and just, you know, pay it forward. Put down a little bit of money for the subscription so you can get access to all the fight profiles. So if like there's a fight profile, oh, you know, I'm really interested in this fight profile. Well, let me read about it. And then if I decide that I want to bet, maybe I can have a betting edge because, oh, go figure, this guy's already figured out how to produce these fight profiles so that all the bullshit is filtered out and you just get the facts of reality. And that's the beauty of the system that I've built here. You just get the mathematical reality. Yeah, you can layer on the human narrative and make it about the human experience and blah, 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 blah. But when Connor fucking threw that jumping switch kick and totally whiffed, hitting Max Holloway completely, and then fucking tore the shit out of his fucking meniscus and ACL, supposedly. I mean, come on, bruh. I think he had a favor that was called in, and he had to throw this fight. Max Holloway knew he had to throw this fight, and it just is what it is. So, yeah. Let me see if anybody's in the audience at the moment. I don't think there is, but let me just see. We got one concurrent viewer. I don't know if that's just the system, the ghost in the machine, or if it's somebody. Do you have a question? Whoever's in the audience here, if there is somebody, I'd question it. But if you have a question, drop it in the chat real quick. I am, and the chat. There we go. Let me think here. Anything else? No, I don't think there's anything else. Go to the Gumroad link that's in the description of the video. Click on it. Either subscribe to the full fight profiles and or also buy the full fight card breakdown that gives you, you know, everything you need to know about the betting process. There will be a final alpha update on the bingo card that has the probabilities weighted in the market on, you know, how you should bet. So I would just ask to support the channel. Like, share, subscribe, spread this out, man. Like, really, like, I'm giving you guys the best mathematical edge in MMA betting that the world has ever seen. You will never see, after me, anything better when it comes to predicting the outcome of a mixed martial arts event and enjoying it and also making money. Like, there's never going to be anybody else after me that does this the way that I do it. It's one of a kind. Now, somebody could try to figure it out and could figure it out maybe, but they got to be motivated because it took me 4 or 5 months to actually figure this out. And I lost a lot of money. So put something on it. Subscribe to get the full fight profiles of all fights from this card going forward. And it's $49 if you wish to get the full betting guide. There will be a live alpha production that gives you all of the fight bets, as well as any kind of alpha that would influence your willingness to put money on something, even if the math says it's good. which I totally respect. And that's what I want. I want engagement. I want you to be involved. I want you to be wanting this thing to be so fucking good that you can look at it and go, yeah, the choice is obvious. Of course I'm going to put 100 units on this. It's so obvious, right? That's what we want. That's my goal. Any questions? Like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you have a request, you want me to talk about something, cover something. You know, as long as it's mixed martial arts related, I'll cover it here. If it's something totally off, I have a lot of projects in the pipeline. Please support me. I've never actually talked like this on a live stream ever. I'm asking you, please support me. It'll be the best support you could have ever provided somebody you don't know. Because what I have planned, what's in the pipeline, the ideas that I am cooking up right now will change your life for the better. Pretty much every single one, including this. So, like, share, subscribe. I'm out. And enjoy the music. Dude, come on. That ain't it. What happened? Whoa, what happened? What happened was... All right. All right. Let's go to some music here. To dig, so we dug through the heat. We carried the bodies right out to the street. You stood on the rubble with a bullhorn and pride, while the toxic asbestos was burning inside. The EPA promised the air was pristine, a beautiful life for the television screen. But 10 years later, the tumors awake, and the heroes are drowning in the promises you break. We marched in the halls, we begged for the care, but the men in the suits just sit back and stare. The Zadroga extolled on the Senate floor, while the firemen die by the dozen and score. Waiting to die, choking to death on a federal lie. You won't pay the doctors, you won't pay the bill. Your
a bureaucratic murder by dragging the feet, letting the cancer take over the street. You call them the heroes when the cameras are on, but you lock up the treasury until they are gone. A war of attrition to cover the crime, just to run out the clock and run out the time. Waiting to die, waiting to die, choking to death on a federal lie. You won't pay the doctors, you won't pay the bill. You're waiting for the poison to finish the kill. Silence the witnesses, bury the brave, and balance the budget. Right over the grave. Let them cough, let them fade. The ultimate price has been paid.